In today's lesson, we are continuing on with finding the center, vertices, foci, and eccentricity of the ellipse, then sketching the graph. First off, you'll notice that there's no h or k, right? Just x squared, y squared. So that tells us our center is 0, 0 for hk. Next up, right, differently from yesterday's lesson where we had the parabola and the leading kind of tells us what's going on. We've got x squared, y squared. Whichever has the largest number underneath is going to be the major, right? So in this case, y is the major axis, and square root of 144 is 12. Is our a value, and then the square root of 81, 9 is our b value, and c is inside, so we're subtracting. 144 minus 81 gives us 63, and that is c squared, so then square root of 63 is c. Now it's more important to know kind of about where that number is. So in our calculator, I would guess it's about a 7.9, but you can always check. And generally speaking, if it's going to be close to that, it might be 7.8, but I'm just trying to do our best to be fairly accurate. So 7.93, we'll just leave it like that. So when we're graphing in a little bit, we will use that for the foci and the eccentricities. So next up, we are moving 12 in the y direction, because that is what 144 is under. So counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 right at the top of my graph and going opposite way. The bottom, there's my two key vertices. And generally I'll do plus or minus 12 if I can do that. If I have like 6 plus or minus 12, I'll just find the number. And then square root of 81 was 9, so we're going 9 left and right. So there's 9 to the left, right. There's 9 to the other left, that's the actual left. And then connecting our dots. Try to make it look a little bit ovalish, but it is fairly wide for an oval. Okay. And then we got to graph our foci. So our foci is specifically in that y direction because that was the major. So plus or minus square root of 63. So a little less than 8 up. Right, so right inside there, and same thing from the bottom, a little more than 4 from the inside. And there's our graph, and then the last part of eccentricity is c over a, right? C is square root of 63 over a is 12. So in our calculator, we'll do that to 3 decimals. Square root of 63 divided by 12, and I get 0.661. And that's E for eccentricity. Next one, we've got some more stuff going on in this one. We've got x plus 5 squared plus over 16 plus y minus 4 squared over 9. Again, that should equal 1. So opposite of plus 5, minus 5. Opposite of minus 4, plus 4. So negative 5, 4 is our start center. And then we're doing square root of 16 is 4, and this is the x direction. Right, so just let me know if it's the x direction. So that is our vertex. So we're getting negative 5 plus or minus 4, 4. Well, we can do that math, right? Negative 1, 4, and negative 9, 4. Now, generally speaking, I'll graph those first, like I'll, and we're going 2, 4 to the left of the center. There's one vertex, 2, 4, sorry, to the right, 2, 4 to the left of center. And then square root of 9 in the y direction is 3. So 3 up for B there, 3 down for B. And then, of course, combining those, 16 minus 9 is 7 equals C squared. So square root of 7 is C, which is, about 2.5. So 2.5, 2.5, and now our shape coming together. Okay. And there's ovalish elliptical shape. So then our foci is negative 5 plus or minus square root of 7. Yes, that is how I leave it, right? Because it's not a nice perfect square, I'm leaving it like that. Eccentricity, I would calculate to 3 decimals. Square root of 7 over 4. This is probably going to be similar to the last one we had because we're just, 0.661 exactly because we simplified. And that covers our graphing. Right? So graphing ellipses aren't too horrible given that form. Moving on, what is the standard equation of an ellipse? So we need to organize x squared and the pieces. And we organize y squared and its pieces. And then we always shift the constant to the other side. And now what we need to do is normally we're completing the square. However, this piece needs us to greatest common factor out to 4. So we will do that. And then we're going to have plus 4 parentheses y squared minus 2y plus blank equals negative 9. And now recognize that we're going to have one blank straightforward from over here. And we're going to have the other one where it's plus 4 times the second blank. Right? That's going to be blank 2 there. Okay. That gets multiplied by 4. So as always, complete the square as you take the number of x and y. Divide by 2 and then square it, so half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9, which will give us x plus 3 squared. And this 9 comes right over here. Unfortunately, nice and neat, cancels out with that. Second blank is going to be half of negative 2. Negative 1 squared is 1. This gets multiplied by 4, so 4 times 1 is 4, right? But I already have that 4 over there. And we're left with plus 4 y minus 1 squared. Where'd the minus 1 come from? Right there. Equals positive 4. Okay. And now, that doesn't match our original form, so we need to divide all items individually by 4, and then simplify. So here's our final form, x plus 3 squared over 4, plus 4 divided by 4 is 1, so y minus 1 squared. We'll leave it over 1, just so you can see that that b value is only going to be square root of 1 equals 1. And that's it for that one, because it's asking for standard equation or standard form. Moving on to the next one. 4x squared plus y squared minus 8x plus 4y equals minus 8. Or sorry, minus 8. So 4x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 4y plus 8 to both sides. We're going to deal with the 4 first to give us 4 x squared minus 2x plus blank plus y squared plus 4y plus second blank plus 8 plus 4 times first blank plus second blank. Okay. Doing the math, half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. So 1 goes in the first blank. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. In the second blank. Now simplify. 4 x minus 1 squared plus y plus half of 4, 2 squared, equals, and now we have 8 plus 4 plus 4, giving us 16. May not always be a perfect square, but simplify the best you can, because this one's not as necessarily as worried about being r squared. So when we do this, that one's put, this is going to become a 1, and this will simplify. So finishing off, x minus 1 squared over 4 equals y plus, not equals, y plus 2 quantity squared over 16 equals 1. And that wraps up the finding the standard equation forms there. What's left to go is we're going to have a couple more where they're going to give us some information and we need to find the standard form. This is a ton of information starting off here. They probably didn't need to give us all this information, but kind of realize as we go on that when they give us both vertices, the midpoint of the vertices is going to be the center. That's also true with the foci. Okay. So they gave us center, this is HK. Vertices tells us this is A is 6. And foci tells us C is 2. Don't forget that a squared minus b squared equals c squared. So with a and b, we can figure that one out. And what we have so far is x squared over 6 squared is 36, plus y squared over, not sure yet, equals 1. So we got most of our information. We just need to finish this piece here. So plug in what we know. 6 squared minus b squared is 2 squared. Minus 36 from both sides. 4 minus 36 is negative 32. And so b squared is 32. We do not need b. We need b squared. Okay? So, final answer, plugging in right there. X squared over 36 plus y squared over 32 equals 1. Also, notice we got positive numbers. You should not get, oh, b squared is negative 7. Right? Then you need to double check your math. Moving on. Center 0, 0. Foci 0 plus or minus 5. So again, C value. Major axis of the length 12. Major axis is 2a. So some of these pieces of information are very loaded, right? For example, the foci is loaded. This is C. This also tells us y is major. Okay? And then this next part, 2a is 12. 2a is 12 gives us a is 6. So a squared is 36, right? Because that's what we're looking for. So now we have x squared over, we don't know, because we know that y squared was the one moving, so y squared is the major, equals 1. And then again, 36, a squared, minus, we don't know squared, b squared, equals 5 squared, or c squared. So 36 minus what is 11? Sorry, it's 25. B squared is 11. Right. Right, you can solve that one and get that. Negative b squared is negative 11. So x squared over 11 plus y squared over 36 equals 1. Next one, less information. Foci 0, 4, 4, 4. Minor axis is length 8, which is 2b. Now this also tells us information. Right? This tells me two things. Right? Midpoint of that is 2, 4. Also, what's moving? Right? X is moving. So X is major. 2, 4 is our center. And what's the difference between 2, 4 and 4, 4? Right? We're moving 2, so 2 is our A value. Sorry, 2 is our C value, foci. Right? Because this is foci, not vertex, right? So, we've got 2b is 8, and b is 4. Hence b squared is 16, and c squared is 4, and c is 2. So now fill in what we've got, right? See what we're missing. X minus 4, right, 2, center right here. X minus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 1 when we put what we're over here. We don't know about x squared yet. We know it's major, but we don't know what's underneath. Right? B squared 16. So, usually I'm just going to leave this open, realize that we're solving for a squared. A squared minus 16 being b squared equals c squared 4 plus 16 to both sides, a squared 20. So filling it in, and I like to leave it like that, so then I can just pop that value in there, and we're done. Does it make sense? Center is 2, 4. 20 minus 16 is 4, square root of 4 is 2. That is why our foci is 4 away from each other, right? And it works. Last one. Center 0, 0. Easy. Well, let's draw it out this time. 0, 0. And our graph passes through the point 0, 4 and 2, 0. Okay. Now, drawing this picture is to make you see that, oh, if we're going through these points, our graph's going to look like this, because this is above my vertex, my center. Sorry. So, 4 is A, 2 is B, and we're just ready to plug it in. Center is 0, 0, it's HK. So I got x squared over 2 times 2 is 4, plus y squared over 4 times 4 is 16, equals 1, and we're done. Right? That can be a really tricky one if you're stuck. Well, once you draw it, you're like, oh, the information's right there. And that wraps today's lesson up. Always let me know if you got any questions.